I am about to make a statement, and I know none of you, and I mean none of you, will believe me when I say it, but I have never seen Hamilton, nor have I heard any of its music. I know, what was I thinking, right? Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Crossin Streams. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today on this Independence Day, we're going to be taking a look at one of the biggest Broadway smashes ever, now on Disney+. We're going to be taking a look at Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton. This was filmed live on Broadway from the Richard Rodgers Theater with the original Broadway cast. Now, as I said in the intro, I know what Hamilton is. I've never seen it. I've, of course, seen pictures or something on the internet or whatever, but I'd never experienced it. I kind of knew what it was supposed to be, but I just never had a chance to check it out. I mean, I just never listened to the music. I know a lot of people just like the music, even if they haven't seen the play. Now that I've seen it, again, it's on Disney Plus. Now that I've seen it, what do I think of it? Okay, let me just put it this way. Let me put it this way. How can I say this? What was I thinking? Why didn't I watch this sooner? Okay. I'm a pessimist at times, as many of you well know. Um, and I have to say that whenever I heard about this, not that I had any real evidence or anything, but I'm like, come on, are we overhyping this thing a bit? No, the hype is real. I'll just say that the hype is real. There's going to be probably some possible spoilers in this review. So obviously, if you can't tell, if you have Disney Plus, watch it. Just watch it. I will say I know there's some controversy about some of the historical accuracies and things like that, but Miranda himself has even said we did some things for dramatic effect and things like that. But uh, I can just say this: the easiest way I can put a review for this is I haven't had this much fun learning, if ever, right? Again, I know not everything's gonna be historically accurate. I mean, of course, they did not have hip hop in the late 1700s, but no, this play is awesome to watch. It would have been something cool to see live. I will say that. I've been to a few plays. I've seen Les Mis, and a few others. Even I can't remember if it was I can't remember if it's Lord of the Dance or River Dance that I saw. And I just live shows are just cool anyway, especially when they got cool sets and stages, like where the stages move and everything. Um, so yeah, if you don't want to know anything about this, if you want to see if the hype is real, believe me, the hype is real. This is a really, really cool play. The performances are amazing. The sets are amazing. The costumes are amazing. The songs, the singing, everything. I don't know if there was anything I really didn't like about this. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. But basically, what this play is about, it's a modernized feeling look at one of America's founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, and how he influenced our country's birth, the beginning of our country's history. It also follows other characters throughout the Revolutionary War and after. Um, First things first, the entire look and feel of the stage in this and the costumes and everything, phenomenal. Um, just everything feels it sucks you in right away. I mean, there's just it's going to be hard for me to criticize this one because again, the criticisms that some people have, like historical accuracy, or having people of color play people not of color or whatever. Even though the way I look at it, everybody is of color, but um, is some kind of color, right? I I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the argument, even though uh, it's like, well, you're downplaying minorities back then, but you know, they're just showing these certain people in history. There's also a lot of criticism that they don't talk enough about the slavery and everything. They're telling the story, mostly the story of just this one guy and the people surrounding him. They do bring up slavery plenty. There's one of the characters that keeps saying, I'm working on ending slavery and things like that. There's one of my favorite moments I'll talk about later is Hamilton taking a shot at Jefferson about slaves, kind of more than once. And I'll talk about that in a moment when I get to the songs. But just everything, the overall look and feel, they're just trying to tell a story in a different way. It's like, because the way they talk, the way they sing, the types of music like the hip hop and everything else, it's just putting a modern flavor to the late 1700s is what it's doing. And I thought it did it really well. There's many different kinds of songs. There's slow songs, fast songs, hip hop songs, rap battles, or you can at least say just hip hop battles. And that's where the Jefferson Hamilton thing come in, because they do, I think they called them like congressional battles or cabinet battles. I believe it was cabinet battles. And it was basically a hip hop battle where they were hitting each other back and forth with insults and everything. And some of the best lines were like Hamilton hitting Jefferson about, Jefferson's like, we don't have debt in the South. And and Hamilton's like, yeah, because you don't pay for labor. That's why you... I thought it was a great shot. I loved it. They also make a comment about Jefferson's having affairs with his slaves, where he's like, whatever you do down at your home kind of comment, whatever you do at Monticello. And I thought stuff like that was funny. I liked the edge of the movie because here's something, again, I knew nothing about Hamilton going in, and I remember reading an article where they interviewed Miranda, and he said, I guess there's 3 F-bombs in Hamilton, and Disney Plus will not go past PG-13. Well, 2 F-bombs in a movie gives you an R rating. So Miranda said, I literally gave 2 Fs so everyone could see it. Yeah, they blank out 2 F-bombs. And then I didn't really hear the other one, but I think I was just so into the show I wasn't really looking for it. I did see where they blanked it out a couple times, because when I was watching, I wanted to see the lyrics of the songs and everything, so I had the captioning on. I watch a lot of movies with captioning when I can, especially something like this where a lot of the songs, they start to merge songs together, and it's kind of hard to tell what they're saying, even though you've heard these songs earlier. And that might be a bit of a minor criticism from me, is just that a lot of times when they bring in these songs where they cram 3 or 4 songs together, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it does not ruin the experience of this show at all. So yeah, the music in this is fantastic. I think my favorites would have to be the cabinet battles. And then I'm going to talk about a character here a little bit, and I'll maybe talk about him a little bit later. King George. King George, played by Jonathan Groff. He's also he's really well known for playing Kristoff, voicing Kristoff for Frozen. When King George comes out, he sings like 3 or 4 songs. And the first song's like, oh, you're trying to get away from me, huh? Well, I'm going to remind you of my love for you by slaughtering your families. And his songs are just very tongue-in-cheek, but they also have real threats to them. He sings a song like, oh, you're free now. Well, you're on your own. Don't come crawling back to me. And then when we see him later, he sees that government isn't going very well for our country. And they show him just like giggling for joy and sitting in the corner, watching as this stuff is happening between our government, and he's just got this look on his face like, see, it ain't so easy, is it? And then when, of course, Washington decides to leave office, he's just like, you can do that? So King George is one of my favorite parts of this, because it's just his songs are so upbeat, yet they have like some real threats and some real sharpness to them, and I really dug it. Again, when it comes to the characters, I really liked everybody in this. If there were any mistakes, I didn't see them. There was, I think, one time where it looked like Miranda just had to take a second to think of his line in a song. I think that was the only thing I saw. And I can't even remember the song it was, but it was a really fast-paced song, and he paused for a second, then kept going. And again, I think he covered it well if it were a mistake. Again, not having heard these songs before, I don't know if it really was or not. I was curious about some of the people in this. I'll use Daveed Diggs as an example. He played Marquis de Lafayette. If I think of any character from the American Revolution, he's one of my favorites. Just because I don't know. I whenever I was growing up, I always thought like he was the swashbuckler, right? And I always dug stuff like that. So him playing that part, I'm like, he's only going to be in maybe half this show. What are you going to do with him after? And then he shows back up as Thomas Jefferson. I'm like, I see. And they do that with many different people in this. They play multiple roles. There are some that play 3-4 roles. Now the bigger actors, the people playing bigger parts, some of them only play one. Like Leslie Odom Jr. only plays Aaron Burr. Lin-Manuel Miranda only plays Alexander Hamilton, and there's a few others. Philippa Sue only plays Eliza Hamilton. But then, like Daveed Diggs plays 2 characters, and a few others. So you have people playing multiple roles. So if they're only going to be in like the first half of the story, they give them another character for the second half, and I really dug that. I don't know. There's really not much more I can say about this. I really dug the music. I really dug the look and feel of everything. The performances are fantastic. Here's something that I thought was going to bother me: the length. This thing is like close to 3 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes, maybe give or take a few minutes. I thought that was going to bother me. But here's the thing. This show comes at you so fast, comes at you so nonstop. I mean, Disney Plus puts a minute intermission in the middle, and between each set, each scene, there's maybe a few seconds. This thing comes at you just at you. It keeps coming at you. And it does not slow down. I mean, yeah, you might get slower scenes, but when it comes to telling the story, it just keeps going and going and going. And with all the different people that are involved in each scene, and the fact that you've got a stage that moves, I've always been a fan of like moving stages, to like where you see someone walking and there's maybe a little conveyor belt kind of thing where they can walk on, to where you move the background, it looks like they're walking, but it doesn't look like they're marching in place, right? This one has like a spinning stage, and they do especially like the duel scene near the end, where they're spinning the whole set, and just everything about this play is phenomenal. Again, the hype is real, and I know people have their issues with this, and if you can keep it classy, definitely discuss it in the comments below, what you feel about some of the controversies and everything. But I know people have their controversies, but for me, having never seen it and getting to check it out, as much as this play has, as much as what's going on, as many characters as it has, you never feel lost. You never feel like it's too long. It's always entertaining. You're always invested. Just from the get-go, you are invested in this. I mean, I had my favorite characters and everything, and my favorite songs, and my favorite scenes, but everything together works for me. again, minor nitpicks aside, which, again, I don't even know if they were really nitpicks because I've never seen the show. Minor nitpicks aside, I love this thing. Now, is it something I would watch over and over and over again? Not really. I mean, I would go back to it. I'm not going to like watch it again for a while. But yeah, for those that are really into it, this being on Disney Plus is a fantastic way to watch it. They do a great job directing it, making sure you're seeing what you need to see on stage. Just everything about this is worth checking out. The music is fantastic. The performances are fantastic. The interactions between characters, the sets, everything is worth checking out. The hype is real. That's going to be all for this edition of Crossin Streams. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel. Like this video. You have anything to say about Disney Plus's Hamilton, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I am your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later.